Hello, I'm James Jacobson in Maui, Hawaii, and this is Dog Podcast Network Live, our live weekly roundup of what's happening at DPN. And joining me just over there is Claire. We did that just over there. Is Claire?
That's very
At
clever.
9. That's
You're
pretty
just
good.
over there. Yes, I'm Claire Mansell in London, England. And I must say, Jim, you're looking very sort of like borderline theatrical today in your black. You know, like you look like you should be hanging out as part of the backstage crew somewhere in black, you know?
That's it. The set design. Well, what I'm really interested in is, so we have a meeting before this where we have a whole bunch of team of DPN and people are talking, and we're doing a live Microsoft Teams thing. And what's interesting is I thought you were going to not compliment my shirt, but my shave.
Oh,
I have a goatee.
oh, sorry.
It's okay. No one notices. I thought I looked more like Brad Pitt.
Oh, I mean, it's uncanny how much you look like
Right.
Brad Pitt.
I mean, a doppelganger for Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
Huh?
Sorry, I didn't notice.
Yeah. Well, evidently, no one did. Anyway, so if you notice that I have a goatee, let me know. It doesn't matter. But yes, I am in my stage theatricals. Actually, it's more that this is what I take to walk the dog and walk on the beach in the morning, and I haven't changed because
I thought
so early.
The bright sunlight there in Hawaii would fade your black t-shirt, but obviously not.
No, they don't. I was going to come up with something more witty and profound. No, just black is black. It still works.
Dear.
But this is my morning attire. So anyway.
Okay.
So I promise you, if you're joining us, we will talk about Lady Gaga, some real big developments related to Lady Gaga. But first, let's connect and chat about some other shows that we have dropped this week on Dog Podcast Network. Claire, over to you on that.
So Dog Edition this week is all about dog vaccination facts. And this is all the stuff about the many vaccinations that we have to give our dogs and how we could be perhaps doing it slightly differently so that we ensure that puppies have got the right level of immunity and that you do it at exactly the right time, because obviously when they're born they have that passed on inherited immunity, and it's when you give them the jab to ensure that the immunity continues. And there is a thing called titer testing. So this is all about that and how that can be used to more effectively manage vaccinations. So that's on. Yeah,
it's one of these nuanced conversations as we talk about it on the show, because vaccinations have been all the discussion these days in the last few years for people and for dogs. But we get into some interesting areas, as Claire was talking about titers. They're actually more expensive, but they can help reduce the amount of vaccine that you give your dogs, which can be beneficial in the long run for other things. So check out that episode. It's a really well-researched. We talked to some amazing veterinarians. Check out a dog, and that's on dogedition.com at dogedition.com.
Yes. And Dog Cancer Answers this week is a true tale. This is Roscoe's legacy with Renee Michael. And this is Roscoe the Basset Hound who fought prostate cancer for 21 months. And this is a particularly poignant one because it's a hard cancer to spot early because a lot of the symptoms can be mistaken for UTIs. But the Roscoe's owner documented the whole thing online, the whole story of his treatment and his battle and what things work for him and everything else. So this is sharing that story, and that is on Dog Cancer Answers this week, which you can find at dogcanceranswers.com or via the dogpodcastnetwork.com.
And one of the things that's interesting about Roscoe's journey is they spent over $60,000 for Roscoe.
Wow.
And most of it, a great majority, was covered by insurance. You can tune into that episode to learn out, which is not an ad for the insurance company, but during the interview, it was like, this should be. It was pretty amazing in how that worked. So people do spend a lot of money on dog cancer, and it's a really interesting episode. And the advice that we have is bring a tissue, bring a box of tissues for that one. It's a really heart-rendering episode, but it is very thoughtful and optimistic, and I think you will enjoy listening to it. And that's a Dog Cancer Answers.
And talking of thoughtful and optimistic, and moving on to a positive story this week, because I love a positive dog story. This is one that I spotted today, and also mentioned to Cheryl, who's on Team Dog, who also spotted it today. There has been a dog rescued from the rubble of the Turkey earthquakes 23 days after they happened, and I saw the footage of him being lifted out of the rubble, and he came out fighting. There was no sort of broken legs or any issues like that. He was all the limbs were going, and there was some footage of him afterwards when he'd obviously been fed and watered and everything else, and he looked great.
Did they have any indication of what he was eating or drinking?
No, because it is so early, this news, that they just don't know how he survived under the rubble. But I know what's going to follow next, which is that we're going to get a news story saying thousands of people have stepped forward offering to adopt this dog. Because
I think that is a miracle, though. 21 days, 3 weeks.
Yeah, 23 days. 23 days, Jim. I mean, it's incredible.
I'm sorry. I don't need to short shrift any day when you're under the rubble. That's extraordinary. Well, yes, if we could do an exclusive interview with the dog, that's really cool.
But you've touched on something that you when you were saying, what was the dog surviving on? I did kind of wonder, did the dog sort of somehow get into the rubble after the earthquake? Maybe, because they can squeeze through gaps. Was this a dog? Has it? I'm not going. Has he maybe not been there for 23 days? I don't know. He looked in very good health. I'm not questioning the dog. The dog, the dog didn't say it had been there for 23 days. The rescuers did. So
yes, I'm glad the dog is doing okay. I really am glad the dog is doing okay, and I appreciate people who are joining us, like Russell and Danielle, because this is a live show, and so if you have comments to share, or if you're using different tools, I guess LinkedIn is really good. We can share those with our audience.
Now, Lady Gaga.
We promised that one.
This is a great story, isn't it? It's like the gift that keeps on giving, really, isn't it?
This is a story we've been covering since the day that Lady Gaga's dogs were dog napped years ago.
Yeah. And so just to recap, there was the dog walker was shot, wasn't he? And this is a really sort of dramatic dog napping.
In Los Angeles, yeah.
Yeah. And the 2 dogs were taken.
Frenchies.
And so now we have got to a point where a lady has been charged in connection with the dog napping. And she was charged because after they were dog napped, Lady Gaga put forward a $50,000 reward, no questions asked, for the return of the dogs. So she turned up at a police station to return the dogs. And when she did, she didn't get the reward. She was arrested. And she is now suing Lady Gaga because she says that Lady Gaga never intended to give this reward out, and it was never a no questions asked. This is a really difficult one, isn't it? Because it's a bit like the whole paying hostage takers thing, moral dilemma. If Lady Gaga doesn't pay this woman, then there is a danger that next time when somebody puts forward a no questions asked reward, people will go, well, that didn't happen with Lady Gaga. Someone just got arrested. I'm not going to go, and really it is about getting the dog, first and foremost, getting the dog safely back, isn't it? But then if she does pay the reward, then it puts a price on the head of celebrity dogs. So it's, what do you do?
And it may be something that Lady Gaga was saying, I pay $50,000, no questions asked to get it. But because the information was conveyed to the police department, do the police have a legal responsibility? I mean, if a perpetrator comes in and says, I stole how'd you get these? I want to claim my $50,000 reward. Here are the 2 dogs. How'd you get these dogs? Well, I stole them at gunpoint. Should the police go, well, Lady Gaga did commit us to, like, Lady Gaga runs. I don't think that. And so this person, McBride is her last name, is suing Lady.
She's suing Lady Gaga.
Suing Lady Gaga for $1.5 million in damages, as well as more unspecified.
Well, the 50,000, I guess, probably, and as well, is somewhere in there.
Why not? While you're at it, 1.5. Anyway, so don't kidnap Lady Gaga's dogs and think that you're going to go scot-free when you return them in at a police station hoping to collect you $50,000.
How do you think that conversation went at the police station, Jim, where she went in with these dogs? I mean, the cunning thing would have been to sort of go in and go, I just found these dogs wandering in the street and they look just like Lady Gaga's ones that were stolen the other day. But I'm guessing because
you were much more of a criminal mastermind than Liz McBride. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was. I don't think but
I think she incriminated herself, which is why they arrested her.
I think she's.
I've got the dogs.
I mean, yes, the dogs. They're here. I stole them. But
when
Lady
really,
Gaga says I shouldn't get in trouble. Okay.
Really, she should have done the whole thing where I don't know if this is a thing you did in the States as well. This is certainly a British thing. You know where you cut out the letters from the magazine to write the ransom notes? Yes. Yeah. That's an international thing. Okay, just checking. Yeah, she should have done that and then posted it through Lady Gaga's front door. I have the dogs. Give me the 50,000. Meet me at the lamppost on the corner at 3:00. I am a criminal mastermind.
Again, you are very cunning between knowing the letters and exactly having a very quick alibi. I like that. There we go. Well, that's what we have for this week. I want to tease you with this because this is a real microphone and we both have them. And you are going to see these in the coming months in various spots, well beyond our well-appointed, accommodated studios, because we are traveling out into the world, and we should almost be doing a thing. Where in the world is Claire Mansell, or where in the world am I? So we're going to be traveling out and meeting some of you and getting some interesting dog stories from all over, and we're excited about that. And details coming later this spring and summer from Dog Podcast Network. That's pretty much all we have for today. I want to thank you for joining us. If you'd like to check out any of these shows, visit our website at dogpodcastnetwork.com. We have a growing YouTube channel on YouTube, and that's probably where you can find it. Just type in Dog Podcast. It's youtube.com/@dogpodcastnet. But you'll figure it out. Find us. And thank you so much for joining us live. And hopefully you will listen to one of our shows this coming week. Thank you so much. And thank you, Danielle, for you like, maybe we got to find Danielle. Maybe we need to go bring a microphone to her someday.
And Russell, don't forget Russell.
And Russell. Yeah,
exactly.
Russell,
don't leave him out.
Yes. Okay. Thank you all. Take care. See ya. Aloha.